Live from the Export Beer Garden studio and brought to you by Export Ultra, the beer for here. This is the Agenda podcast for Tuesday, the 15th of October.
The Agenda Podcast, the home of sporting nonsense and claptrap. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
And good morning, G Lane.
Morning.
I think it's appropriate for both of us who have been covering in Matt Heath's absence to just start the podcast by regurgitating the best thing we talked about on the Matt and Jerry show.
Well, I heard a little bit. I just can't get enough of Stephen McIver stories. They make me they bring me so much joy.
So I told the one about the time he came in to the B studio. I'd like to preface this by saying I love Stephen McIver. I worked with him quite a bit in the mainstream sports media.
You love him, or love him because he's so...
I love him.
Such a wrong'un.
He bowls a stock wrong'un, much like I do. He came into the studio one day and was like teaching me a new press up. Give me a couple of tips on the press ups. He'd been going to the gym quite a bit lately.
So, okay, sorry. He has cold called you on that. He has come out of no. You're sitting there photoshopping something, and he's come up to you and said, "Hey, Manaia."
I was actually live pushing the buttons for the drive show at the time, and what it was he actually wanted to talk to my offsider, Emma, who was sitting next to me, and actually I think he wanted to show her the gym tips that he'd learned.
So he's just come out of nowhere and say, "Hey, I've got some tips about, bulking."
He definitely steered the conversation in that direction. I think he knew he had a thing that he was going to get to, and then basically it was you put your feet up against the wall when you're doing press-ups, and it just enforces a bit of a stricter technique, I think. I think it makes it harder.
What? Oh, you mean press your feet against the wall, not up the wall?
No.
Okay.
No, just your heels or the ball of your feet against the wall to stop you from moving around a bit too much.
Okay.
And, he was saying that he'd found results with that.
Did he drop down and do some?
Yeah, he did. And the problem with that is, and you'll be familiar with my approach to producing, I drink quite a bit, and I had spilled a beer on the floor of the production room that day. It must have been a Friday afternoon. And what he didn't know was he was doing press-ups in the beer stain that I just left in there. There was, for whatever reason, we used to do a cross with Joel and Fletch. So Fletch from Fletch and Heidi, Brian Fletcher, and he does a radio show over there with a guy by the name of Joel Kane. And every Wednesday we would do a cross with them, and McIver was filling in one day, and they just got off on the wrong foot. So what you saw with Ben Ainsley, picture that, but over 15 minutes of a talk radio show voice break, which lasted for 15 minutes. And by the end of it, I was laughing so hard, and because our producer booth was rigged up with cameras, and so everyone could see everyone.
Yeah.
I had to sit underneath the desk because I was just laughing so hard. I was crying. He could see, McIver could see me, Joel and Fletch could see me from their studio as well. My cheese slid off my cracker. I don't know why. It just got combative with them, and it just straight off the bat. I'll try and find the audio, but it's fucking one of the career highlights for me.
And it's still carrying on over there in the America's Cup. We've gone 4-0 up. Not that we give a shit.
No.
They confirmed it's not coming back to New Zealand.
Oh, they have?
Yeah, they said unlikely. Most likely scenarios back in Barcelona, but not if some locals can help it.
Yeah, because they're protesting against it.
Yeah, because they're basically, Barcelona are crushing all this money. A lot of locals are saying we already have enough tourists. We're struggling as a city and just with basic needs.
I've seen this. So I saw videos earlier this year of locals in Barcelona going around spraying tourists with water pistols.
Yeah, because they're trying to get rid of them. They hate them.
Yeah. I can understand that.
But then but if all the tourists disappeared out of Barcelona, it would shit the bed.
Because Japan's having a similar issue where they're having to put up signs saying this is not like Japan's not just like Disneyland. This is people live here.
You can't grab people, just grab them and take photos with them.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, it's after lockdown, everyone's going over traveling. Anyway, since we're talking about it, yesterday you had the run-in with Ben Ainsley.
Yes.
This morning, of course, he's the main commentator for thing, and Ben
How
Ainsley,
that's happened, I don't know. But anyway.
Ben Ainsley is the driver, well, because it was him or you. That's why. And so he...
Fuck you, I didn't put my hat in the ring. I'd be so insulted if he did get back ahead of me.
So they had a yarn. Obviously, they had to have another yarn this morning. And so I've got the audio here of how it sounded.
An intense match race. What's the message to the team right now?
Yeah, well, surprised you weren't going to talk to me about the performance to start off with, but it was a good race. And they had a good start, got the first cross, but yeah, they're just going well. They're going really well. And so I think for us, it's a matter of trying to figure out how we can make some of these performance gains to take it to them.
Oh, Benny, we've all been drawing straws and paper, scissors, rock here, mate, to who was going to ask you the questions today. But
yeah, that's Glenn Ashby, is it?
Yes, Glenn Ashby, the Aussie commentator. So they'd obviously been talking about it off air before that.
It would have been great. It would have been, you know what? It would have been so great to double down if he just went, Stephen went, right, Ben, like, boat's still not performing.
This is my conspiracy theory. Is he sort of like the 12th man of the America's Cup team? McIver's gone over there and been like, right, how can I serve the great nation of New Zealand? I want to fuck with the drivers. Whenever I get the opportunity, I'm just going to get in their head.
I don't know if he's that smart.
I reckon that's what he's doing. I reckon he's like, I'm going to help us win the America's Cup here.
This is a man who walked around Bathurst in a pink salmon shirt.
And loafers.
Yeah. So I don't know. Was he messing with just the Aussie bogans?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. He wanted to make sure his good mate Murph won Bathurst.
Right, okay.
And so he's like, look, if I can distract everyone else down pit lane, which is where he was, by the way, in the salmon shirt and loafers. I think someone threw a full Woodstock at him. But yeah, so McIver. I love that this is going to be an ongoing thing. It's a shame. I mean, God knows how many races more there's going to be because Mashy on the Breakfast Show was saying it's sewn up. It's a sure thing.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no way. This is not like San Francisco. This is nothing like San Francisco.
San Francisco wasn't like San Francisco until it was.
But they got a rest day. They're not racing until Thursday.
Right.
So they've got a day to sort this shit out. I can remember the one in San Francisco. They had like 3 days off.
Yeah.
3 or 4 days off in the middle, and the Americans went off and changed their computer system or something to match the Kiwis in terms of what they're using for their kind of flight controller, and then just fucking whooped them.
Obliterated us. Yeah, is that what it was? The flight controller.
Yeah, so it's something to do with that, but I don't see them be able to do that in 24 hours. But
well, yeah, because didn't we give them like a couple of days grace as well? They said, oh, we need a day to fix our boat.
Yeah,
and we said,
like
go on, take another day.
It's 8-1, mate.
It's 8-1. Take the week, brother. And then they came back and like, we found something. We're like, fuck. Yeah, so that's what we talked about on the old breakfast show this morning. The other thing was Jerry wants to invade Antarctica.
Oh, yeah.
Because he reckons it's not, he looked at the way the Danes took over Greenland.
Yes.
And he said, we're not aspirational enough as a country, but we got to start off somewhere easy. So he wanted to launch an invasion of Antarctica. Probably some mining opportunities down there.
Huge mining opportunities.
So we were taking texts on, what we could bring to what you could pledge to the invasion of Antarctica.
Oh, yeah, it's a good idea.
He had a 4-wheel drive Subaru Outback.
Yes.
That he reckoned we could use.
Yeah.
Someone who lives over on the West Coast actually has 2 Haglins that they said they would like to
What's
donate.
a Haglin?
The Haglin's the thing. Have you ever been to the Antarctic Centre in Christchurch?
Oh, yeah.
And they drive that thing around.
Oh, yes.
That's a Haglin.
Okay, that's handy.
It's basically a Nissan Cube on tracks.
Okay, I got a old Massey Ferguson tractor.
Perfect. Yep. We got a couple of those. People were just using them at their batches.
I can just see it. And like Massey Ferguson's, like whatever you said before, Haglins.
The Haglin,
coming over the rise towards Ross Base. And all the American scientists going, oh my God.
It's the Kiwis.
Kiwis, they're angry.
Kiwis. Yeah, I got about 3 swan dries in my wardrobe.
Yeah.
That can keep people warm. My missus knows a bit about penguins. That'll
that's handy.
That'll come in
handy. Because we
handy.
need to kill them all.
My dad's a miner.
Yes.
So
nailing it.
He can come over and mine the thing. Jerry's wife's going to have to come because Jerry doesn't know how to put the chains on the Outback.
That's so true. He's told me about that, and he said it's his superpower, and he's encouraging it. Did he tell you about how he would go up the mountain, he'd be sitting in the car, and people would drive
the filthy
past?
looks. Is that the fucking 7 Sharp guy?
Yeah.
Get out and put your chains on.
Fuck, he's getting his missus to do it, the piece of shit.
I think it's because if he knelt down to change the chains, everyone would be able to see the thong hanging at the top of his jeans.
His wife's thong.
Yeah. Tulsi's going to come out.
I got a tacker cat, like a little inflatable.
What's that?
It's like a little inflatable dinghy.
Oh,
But the thing is with a tacker cat, you can put it into a suitcase. So you can bring that. So
Perfect.
That's a kind of almost like a Navy SEAL situation where we can just pop it up and hoon across icebergs, kill scientists, and get them off the island.
We discussed the issue of how we're going to feed ourselves, but that's easy. You just pull a narwhal out by its tusk and
seals,
carve it up. Seals.
Yeah.
One whale. One whale wouldn't hurt.
Scurvy's an issue. How are we going to grow veggies and shit?
Scurvy is going to be an issue. I haven't addressed scurvy yet.
That's for tomorrow, I think. You need to work out.
We might need to come back and revisit with scurvy.
Because you don't want to just be eating like blubber and seal meat and shit the whole time.
No, which is what we're mainly going to be subsisting on.
Maybe you can always just fly in tinned vegetables.
We'll take as many lemons and limes as we can with us.
Yeah.
And some vitamin C tablets, I suppose. It's 2024 now.
And frozen vegetables, you just chuck them out inside.
Well, don't they still have cans at Scott Base that are still edible from way back when Scott himself got there?
Jesus.
Yeah. And so then we were like, well, the other issue is, do we need a fleet of Huskies to sort of take us out there? And because Jerry's theory was, you can ride them out there, obviously, but then you can eat them as well. They're a food source on the way back.
And Munson, he famously ate all his dogs.
All of them?
Yeah, all of them, because that was part of the plan. They knew they were going to eat them.
Oh, okay.
That was part of the food source.
Jeez, you began slower and slower the further you got.
Well, the dogs would be like, hey, where's Dave? I go, where's Steve?
Yeah.
By the end of it.
Every day.
Rut roll.
Someone did pledge they had a staffy. They said they got a fat staffy.
I got a cavoodle.
Well, they said it couldn't pull a sled, but it'd be good eating.
Same with mine.
The cavoodle could potentially chase down a.
I think it's
penguin.
I think the cavoodle's more a comfort dog.
Oh yeah.
It's because
bit of warmth.
Yeah, because if you're going to get lonely down there, he's going to snuggle in and help you out.
Well, we won't be lonely because there's so many of us going down. I mean, Tulsi's going to come just to change the chains. This is,
We're going to go over and we need a flotilla though as well, don't we? We've got one less Navy boat, so that's an issue.
That's a big issue.
Yeah.
You've got your little briefcase, Tacker Cat.
My briefcase one, that's more for on land once we're there.
If there's like a lake. Or something.
If we need to cross something, I don't think we're going to cross the kind of Southern Ocean.
No.
In it.
I think a hovercraft would be quite useful.
Yep. There's a couple at Auckland Airport we could borrow.
Are there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you seen those?
No.
So
what do they do with them?
you take off, when you take off from Auckland Airport or land, look out towards the seaside, and there's two ramps, and each ramp's got a hovercraft on it, like quite a big hovercraft. They're rescue hovercraft. It's like because it's like H1 and H2 hovercraft 1, hovercraft 2, or whatever. Because if the plane, because it's so muddy and
it's only knee deep.
Yeah,
but it's massive.
Yeah, so you can't get boats in there. So they're rescue hovercraft. Now, my question always is whenever I land, is they doubled the hovercraft fleet a couple of years ago. So I was like, fuck, he's two now. Some bastard, his full-time job, I guarantee it, is to sit at Auckland Airport.
Be on call.
And he is the hovercraft driver. And all he does is go out. I've seen him burn out a few times and come he parks it again. I've seen him go out. That's his. I'm guaranteed that's his one job.
Yeah.
And he sits in the office playing PlayStation.
Pounding through Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Waiting for a kind of plane to overshoot the runway or miss the runway.
Yeah. One day a week he'll look busy and take one for a hoon.
Yeah.
Just for his own entertainment.
Yeah, that's a cool job.
That's a great idea. Well, I have had a theory because I live across the Waitemata harbour from where our studio is. And traffic's so bad in Auckland. I was like, I either get a kayak or I could probably get...
Don't kayak. That's a bad idea.
No, I think so too. But a hovercraft, because it's basically mud flats from where I am to the office.
Did you know they used to have a hovercraft that went across the English Channel? You need to YouTube that. It didn't last long because rough weather would fuck it completely. But there was a full passenger, took like 100 people, and it's a huge hovercraft. It was going to be the newest thing, and then it fucking shat itself in rough weather.
I don't see how that's any better than a boat in that instance.
No, because they got wharves and everything at Calais and at Dover.
Yeah. So why don't I just use a boat? That's not what it's for. It's for getting across mud flat sort of.
I think the US Navy have a couple of big ones for amphibious landings.
Yeah.
They have some big ones.
Well, why don't I take the ones that are out at the airport? And I'll run people back and forth to the city during the week.
Yeah.
And I'll be on call if they need me to. I'll shoot out.
So if a plane overshoots, you just dump the passengers, head back up the Waitemata.
No, I'll just jump on the Northwestern. That's the joy of the
hovercraft. Very hard to keep in a lane. Like it's just constantly fishtailing.
I'm just going
you're just going sideways all the way up the Northwestern.
3 lanes wide, sideways, just holding on for dear life. God, a stiff breeze to put me into the embankment.
Who is defending Antarctica anyway? It is a bunch of scientists, eh?
This is why we picked Antarctica. It's just a bunch of nerds down there dicking around. And we've already got a base there, so we start from there.
Yeah.
What's ours, Scott? No, McMurdo.
No, McMurdo's the Americans. Ours is Scott.
Ours is Scott, yeah, right. Yeah. And then we McMurdo the McMurdos.
I reckon at McMurdo, they're packing heat. Americans will be packing heat. I reckon there'll be a couple of Marines in there. There'll be some sort of And I don't trust the Americans to be down there just sending nerds.
Our army's down there too. They're just driving trucks back and forth all day.
Can scientists not drive trucks?
Got a couple of evidently not. Got a couple of mates who were over there, driving trucks around for the army, allegedly. Big conservation issues over there. Basically, if a penguin walks out and decides to lie down on the road in front of you, you just have to stop. And if it sleeps for 8 hours, you're in your truck for 8 hours.
What if you're the only one around?
Yeah, so they've got spotters over there. So I reckon we'll need to take the spotters out first.
Yes, okay. The environmental spotters.
Yeah, take them out.
Yeah, okay. I reckon you can distract them. Bob Jones wrote a great book, like a fiction book, where he made his millions by sending a cruise ship down to Antarctica full of hookers, and because all the scientists are men. And they're all down there for 6 months, and he parked it up and just made millions of dollars as scientists blasting hookers. And then all of the transactions were all research books and all sorts of bits. So
baked bean cans,
stuff like that. So he changed all that, and that's how he made his millions. Anyway,
okay,
it was a fictitious.
Yeah, I don't think we'll take them with us on our.
It's important, though. I mean, all good armies are led by their downstairs mainly.
They are,
not by their stomach.
Oh, look, maybe one or two when we launch our jihad against Antarctica. But yeah, it wouldn't be too hard to take over.
I'm in. Yep, I think we need to be more ambitious. I mean, we're the closest. I mean, between us and Argentina, they haven't got great history in fighting battles.
They don't give a shit.
No.
Let's be a bit more aggressive as a country. Great. And then
Aussies will do it. I reckon the Aussies will join us.
Come with us, little Anzac excursion.
They'd do it because they mine the shit out of their own country.
Oh, yeah.
So we need some mining, because that is another issue. I mean, I know that Stu is a miner.
Yes.
But we probably need a bit more
than just one dude.
Yeah, we probably need some expertise. Maybe Gina Reinhardt. Yeah, we'll get her.
She's never been on the tools.
Wow, yeah, she'd fund it though, wouldn't she? And then we'd kill it. Then we'd knock her off. So basically, fund it, get all our equipment to Antarctica, and then we take the Aussies on.
Yeah.
Kick them out, and then we've got it.
Yeah.
So suck them in with a partnership.
I'd love to hear from anyone out there. Leave us a voicemail. What do you got that you could donate to the jihad against Antarctica? We'd love to hear from you. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. The other thing that we didn't address yesterday, and actually overnight, they had their... It wasn't the first win of the tournament, but the White Ferns have won. They thrashed Pakistan over in Dubai.
They only scored 120, but they managed to pull them out. Pakistan, a very ACC-like performance. They dropped 8 catches.
I saw that. Yeah, atrocious.
Yeah, and so, but that secured the White Ferns their semi-final spot, where they're most likely going to face England, who... They came off this is good. They made the semis. They came off a 10-match losing streak.
Yeah.
The White Ferns. But those 10 matches were against Australia and England, the two best teams by fucking miles.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to face England in the semi, which is not great.
I think from memory that's their third win of this tournament or something.
Yeah.
This tournament's just been ticking away over there in the Middle East, where it is about 50 degrees. They're having to go out there and
that is a shocker, man.
Yeah.
Because the best times in the Middle East is the kind of end of the year, start of the year. That's their winter.
Yeah.
And when I say winter, it's 24 degrees.
Yeah. A low of 24.
Yeah. Now it's in the 50s. It's fucking brutal.
Oh my God. The week before I got there to Dubai, they had a 50-degree day. I was there was a couple of mid 40s. There was one day where it was 40 degrees and then it rained and it dropped down to 22, which could partly have been to do with the fact that there was rain on the thermometer.
Yeah.
but it was definitely markedly cooler. But just a 20-degree swing in about half an hour is ridiculous. So, yeah.
Yeah.
England.
And then also, Black Caps kick off tomorrow against India.
Oh, yeah.
In Bangalore. And Black Caps are paying $14 for the win.
Oh, my God.
Which that should be way more than that. We've only ever won one test match in our history in India.
Mm-hmm.
However, India are paying $2.30 for the win. And the draw is $1.50, but I don't know.
$1.50.
Yeah. But this is treasonous of me. But $2.30 for an India win is good eating.
W money.
And good eating. It's in Bangalore. It's good batting deck, but it's still, I'll bowl open with a spinner. There you go. That starts tomorrow.
So, yeah, happiness insurance is what we'll call it.
Yep.
$2.30. Yeah, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
W money. in the UFC, this has popped up, and I've seen everybody resharing it, but that basically Conor McGregor, and he does this every now and then, he was in an interview, he's over at like a karate tournament or something, and they interviewed him. They said, when are you next in the ring? And he said, next February I'll be fighting Dan Hooker. And everyone's like, hang on, where the fuck did that come from? And so then obviously everyone's calling Dan Hooker. Well, have you agreed? He's like, I'd do it, but I haven't had a contract or anything.
Yeah, that's what I think he said. He said, I'm in, but it's up to the UFC.
Yeah, so this is what Conor McGregor does, is he will just announce things before. It's like, to give you an analogy, if you ever mention something around Jason Hoyt out in the office, he will walk into the studio and say it on air almost immediately. And so I reckon Dana White would have rung Conor McGregor and said, how do you feel about fighting Dan Hooker? Would you do it? And he would have been like, I'd love to. And then the very next time a microphone's in front of him, he's like, I'm fighting Dan Hooker.
That's great, though.
Dana White would be like, no, fucking, well, we didn't.
I haven't fucking signed anything yet.
This is great. This is huge. It doesn't matter if Dan Hooker wins or loses this fight. This is a massive payday. It's great for his standing in the MMA universe, not just his rating. He is top 5 at the moment, but he has had, I would say, a journeyman career with fucking massive highlights. He's beloved across the MMA community because the way he fights is he gets fucked up and he fucks dudes up.
Yeah.
But he hasn't been in any of these like massive fights. Everyone sort of knows who he is, but this would launch him into another stratosphere if he fought Conor McGregor.
If it gets confirmed, it'd be amazing. And I'm not a big UFC follower. I don't really know that much about it.
Yeah.
But I have watched the McGregor doco on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
McGregor Forever. And now I'm kind of interested in where he goes because he hasn't fought since 21.
No.
Where he got his leg broken.
Yeah.
And for some reason
there's no doctor stoppage.
Yeah. He's desperately trying to get another fight in the UFC. He was supposed to fight a couple of months ago, but he broke his toe or something.
Something like that.
So he's kind of in the wilderness. But if you watch that doco, I mean, it's hard not to like the guy if you watch that doco.
Yeah.
He's a total madman.
What I would say, all of these docos, they get to sign off on it.
Yeah.
You know, the only one where the guy looked at it, signed off on it, and still looked like a cunt was Michael Jordan.
But he didn't. He's a fucking billionaire.
He couldn't see that he looked like a dick in that.
Yeah. So watch it though. It's good value, but I hope it comes off because then I'd be totally into that. Oh. And I think we should fly to Saudi for it.
Oh my God, I'd be there in a heartbeat.
Is it going to be in Riyadh? Is it usually in Riyadh?
No, Abu Dhabi, they do a lot of the fights, but I think that one might be in Riyadh.
Yeah, I think the best play there is let's fly into Dubai.
Yeah.
Just fly over, not even a roadie, just fly over.
Oh, to Riyadh, you mean?
Riyadh.
Yeah.
Watch the fight, fly home.
Yeah.
I don't really want to stick around Saudi for too long.
No, I've always wanted to go to Saudi, and they treat me as one of their own over there.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I get a bit of leeway over there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we just won't have to bring any female members of the staff because that
will be a problem.
Yeah.
One of the funny things that's going on in the UFC at the moment is there's a couple of fighters. One in particular, Khamzat Chimaev.
Oh, yep.
Who is a Chechen gentleman.
Jesus.
And he is buddy with Kadyrov. Is that his name? He's the Chechen warlord that they call him Putin's attack dog.
That guy. Yeah.
There's been a few photos of him, surface on social media. He's hanging out with that guy. He's having dinner with him and blah, blah, blah. So he's now, what do they call it? His visa's been declined to the US.
Okay.
And he's one of the better fighters in the UFC, but he can't fight in the US anymore. They won't let him in. And so now he's basically hiding out in the UAE. Oh. And so he can only fight in Abu Dhabi.
Right, he's hiding out in the UAE like every other kind of Russian, Chechen warlord.
Yeah. So basically, he's a great fighter. The only place he's going to be able to fight is if they do another card in Abu Dhabi, which is quite a weird situation to be in. Because
the old warlord, Chechen warlord, they're regarded as a terrorist organisation or something. Is that why the US have...
Significant human rights violations,
Okay.
Which is as good a time as any to talk to you about Auto Trader. If you haven't heard already, we want you to tell New Zealand about your car, and we're taking the lead by telling New Zealand about our car, which I do need to... I have a bone to pick about our car. Last week, when you went off to your sojourn... Kowal. You accidentally had the keys in your pocket, and you rung me, and you're like, fuck, I've got the keys in the pocket, I'm gone. But there's a spare key in my drawer.
Yep.
Great, we didn't got the spare key. Fuel light came on. there is a separate key for the fuel cap, which is not on the spare key.
No.
So I'm on the Northwestern, and I'm like, fuck.
Where is it now then?
It's somewhere on the Northwestern. Yeah, so I had to just leave it there. No. I managed to limp back into it's in its rightful park. But,
fuck.
But we need to get that key. It just reminded me.
Yeah, it's in my top drawer. I thought about that because I was like, there's a fucking whole lot of other keys on there. And I presumed they were for the tray.
Well, yes, one of them is for the tray. One of them is for the petrol cap. The other one is a swipe tag to get into the building, which I also didn't have.
Fuck.
And I didn't realise it until like quite late at night. And so I'm going over to go get the car, and I can't get into the fucking building. Oh, God. So I had to walk down with all the cars coming past me. I'm walking down the
ramps.
Yeah,
Hey, you piece of shit.
to get into the thing. And they're like, well, hang on. Wait, are you allowed to be in here? I was like, no, I've got my car parked down here. I just don't have to swipe. Bullshit. Anyway, I got in it. Look, the long and short of all of that is we're selling it.
Yeah.
And it's not because it's faulty. And in fact, it's a massive own goal from us because like I said, I drive it all the time. 98 Ford Falcon Ute, absolutely humming. We have decked it out as well. The seat's been done. We have had it's changed colours. It used to be a humiliating off-white with our faces on it. We've taken all of that off. It is shiny black, and it is humming at the moment. We're going to sell it in November, so look out for that on Auto Trader. And if you've got a car to sell, then we suggest you do it through them as well. Tell New Zealand about your car. Let's take one more quick break. We'll come back with yours, please.
Yours, please. Brought to you by Leader, home of the lasagna topper.
4 of them to get through today, and the first one is more or less about you. It goes like this. Yours, please.
G'day, fellas. I'm coming from a real moment of weakness right now. I'm scared. I'm scared for my father's mental health. He's watched me grow from a promising young cricketer to a subpar indoor cricket player, pisshead and G Lane fan, and he always had the black caps to fall back on, but I'm scared this India tour is going to send him over the edge.
Yeah.
Her route.
Yeah. Look, we've all been there. I've been through that journey myself, that exact same journey. And that's why we have the Black Cap Supporters Support Group, to avoid people doing stuff to themselves that they'll regret.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of us out there. You can grab your T-shirts, your Black Cap Supporters Support Group T-shirts from the ACC shop. Just text shop to 3236 and you'll see it there. Once you put that on, you're part of a community.
Yeah.
And a community that will put their arms around you.
And it's a so you'll get knowing nods from other members of the BCS, SEG, CS.
Yeah.
And to people that aren't a member, it's like a I sort of liken it to, in the NFL practice where the quarterback wears a different coloured jersey so you don't tackle him.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's like, hey, give this guy a bit of a break. He's going through something.
And look, and let's be honest, we are staring down the barrel in India. We've only won one in the history of it. So we could come away 3-0 out of this.
Yeah.
But that's when we need each other more than ever.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
There you go.
So hopefully that gives your father some solace. He had a follow-up as well. This is yours, please.
Just to follow up, sorry for the stray, G Lane. That was uncalled for. You didn't deserve that. I'm going to go and have a self-dust and cry in the side toilets. Cheers.
Oh, jeez. He sounds like he's going through a bit.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
Good on him. Big size.
Good on him for apologising, for lashing out there, because he listed among his father's disappointments in him the fact that he was a G Lane fan. So, he's big enough to admit it.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
A couple more. Another caller here. Yours, please.
Yeah, g'day, you gaggle of great human beings. It used to irk me every time, and I used to say motor games, and it's not a sport, it's just a game, and it's participation. But after that, Bathurst, I've fucking converted. It is motor games. That's the most boring shit of my life. Fuck South Canterbury. Go the Valley.
Oh, the Swampy.
Yeah, the
Swampy. That was not a good advertisement for motorsport. Bathurst. No animals came on.
No.
Nothing. One little crash from one Kiwi, just hit the barrier, and that was it. Like, not even that hard.
If Americans ran Bathurst, because they are all about the entertainment value of a sport, I feel like when they knew there were no cars coming, they just let a wee kangaroo across the track.
Remember that one that got smoked at the top of the Mount Panorama? Oh, the famous footage of it bouncing across, and it hit the front of a car, like a V8 coming down that hill at about 150, and hit the back legs, and it was like a helicopter. You know those things you used to get at Pizza Hut where you go,
yes.
It just went like that and flew over the fence. It was insane.
Yeah.
And then they had the echidna last year.
Yeah.
That stopped the race for a few laps.
A couple of years ago in a Chinder. Brought the thing to his knees. And then, so they've obviously worked hard to keep the wildlife away, I think, which is probably counter to what they'd want to do. And then the other thing I feel like the Americans would do is they'd have a plant that's just at the back of the pack, and it's like, right, lap 113,
stack it,
hit the barrier. We're going to set up a soft place for you to crash, but you're going to fucking crash.
Yeah. Well, Payno, the Kiwi, almost did that because they were 30 laps into 161.
Yeah.
And it was a procession for old Kostecki.
Yeah.
It got great names too. Brody Kostecki, Brock Feeney, fucking great, just great bogan names.
Yeah.
And he didn't full stack it, but he made the whole field. Then the safety car came out and they combined the field again, and it was on for like a 25 lap race.
Yeah.
But still fucking Kostecki. I did watch it all. I loved Kostecki because he's quite a big unit. He got out of the car in his race suit. He's got a bit of a guts. He's got a bit of an ass.
Yeah, right.
And he's just a proper bogan with a massive mullet.
Yeah. Looks like the Michelin Man.
Yeah, I quite liked it. He's not. You couldn't get away with that in no way in Formula One because they're all tiny little kind of midgets.
Yeah.
But he was just an Aussie bogan with a bit of a gut and a bit of an ass.
Yeah. That's what you need.
Who can fucking just rip some jandal in a V8. But I kind of respect the V8 guys because when I went to Taupo and watched it, and we met a couple of guys and they were talking about how it's all about show business. That's why they don't have pedals.
Yeah.
They have the gear stick still because it's fucking all about the drama. It's all about getting that camera in and watching guys change gears like you do when you're on the road. Yeah. So they would be they'll be stoked that Kostecki won because he had a bit of trouble at the start of the season with his contract and everything like that.
Yeah.
But it was still fucking boring.
Yeah.
5.5 hours.
Oh my God.
It's a fucking long time.
Fucking long time.
Like the Formula Ones are less than an hour.
Yeah. Well, the way it's supposed to be watched is over a barbecue. You know, you duck back into the lounge every now and then, or you're watching out in the shed.
Yeah.
But what you're actually doing is just pissing up, and every now and then you check the standings.
Okay. It's like a one-day cricket match.
That's exactly.
I need to treat it like that. Now you've said that.
Yeah. It's not a T20.
I fucked that up. I need to do that because I sat on the couch just really punishing myself with trying to work out what the hell was going on.
It's an all-day thing.
And I must admit, there's one guy in a jumpsuit. He's in the garage and he explains everything what they're doing at the pit stop.
Yeah.
Like taking the brakes off and like adjusting some sort of roll bar frame. That guy was quite good. He was a fucking hundy.
Yeah.
Total hundy.
It's there's a place for everyone wherever you sit on the spectrum for motor games. Thank you for the call. One final call here. Yours, please.
Yeah, g'day fellas. Hey, got a bit of a tip for you. Back the Thames Valley Swamp Foxes by plenty this weekend. I just been witness to their mighty leader, Matty Axton. He looked me dead in the eye and ate a banana in 2 bites. So if that doesn't tell you that they're up for it, I don't know what does. So yeah, back and by plenty. They're going to go well.
That's the best tip I think of.
Fuck yourself, Canterbury.
Oh.
You were just about to go, that's the best. Oh, fuck you, man. It's like it was live. You were about to talk and then you just went over the top of you.
The fuck thing is I've already listened to that voicemail, so I don't know why I walked into that. But that is the greatest tip I think I've ever had.
So the captain of the Swampies, the Thames Valley Swamp Foxes, ate a banana in 2 bites.
That's as good a tip as any.
13 plus this weekend. 13 plus this weekend.
Oh,
who are they playing? Are they playing mid?
Yeah, it's grand final, yeah.
Oh, it's the grand final. Was that the semis last week? I thought it was the quarters. I thought it was the same as NPC, but obviously it's a week earlier.
I'm sure it was the semis.
Okay, Swampies by the Swamp. And is it home for the Swampies? Oh,
I don't give a fuck, you know? I don't care. Fuck the Swampies.
Fuck the mid.
Fuck the mid.
Fuck the middies.
I had a friend message me because I shared the title of yesterday's podcast was South Canterbury. And I put it on my story and had a friend from down home and what's all this about? I'm not even going to explain it anymore.
What's all this about?
Why do you keep saying fuck South Canada? I'm not saying it. Everyone's saying it to me.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard one to wriggle out of that one.
Yeah, Christmas is going to be a difficult time.
But when you return, you're going
to
have to bring something as some sort of penance.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
The Ranfurly Shield.
Just go nick it.
I don't know. Anyway, any man that can eat a banana in 2 bites is fine by me. So let's knock this thing on the head for today. We'll be back tomorrow for a Wednesday episode of the Agenda Podcast.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda Podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartradio.